Today I'm reviewing Season 1 of Invincible streaming on Amazon Prime Video. And man, am I glad I did, guys. It's really good. So the story revolves around Mark Grayson. He's a 17-year-old who gets his powers from Superman. Omni-Man, his father, aka Nolan Grayson. And he also has a non-superpowered mom named Debbie. Then there's the Justice League, the Guardians of the Globe. Sorry about that one. They're a superhero team that stops supervillains from all over the world and stuff. And the sorts of when you see all these characters together in the first episode, it draws into a sort of happy state. This is your standard superhero TV show. It's happy, blah 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 blah, Until Omni-Man kills all the Guardians of the Globe. Yeah. And that is just the subversion here, my friend. It's about to get a lot crazier, but not in the Rian Johnson kind of subversion. Then Omni-Man covers up the death to make sure no one knows he's involved in it. Although Debbie and an agent named Cecil figure out that something fishy is going on. And they figure out Nolan did it, but they really want to know why. And then we get back to Mark. He's figuring out his powers along with training from his father. And he's solving crime and stopping the bad guys. But the best villains on the show for me, guys, had to be D.A. Sinclair and Machine Head. Machine Head? Oh, he is funny at times. Oh. And I really wish the show used more of them. They're awesome. Though his superhero persona gets in the way of social life, especially with his girlfriend Amber, and he has trouble balancing out his life, and he eventually realizes that he'll have to sacrifice.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Then in the penultimate episode, the Immortal, who was a member of the Guardians of the Globe, comes back to life. And then, it wants to fight Omni-Man because, he killed him. Then Mark witnesses his father kill the Immortal. Pretty ironic that a guy named the Immortal gets killed, but okay. It's an extremely gut-wrenching moment and extremely well acted by J.K. Simmons. I recommend you go see his movie Whiplash. It's really good. Then after this, Nolan finally reveals why he killed the Guardians, and I'm not going to tell you why, because the plot twist is so good that if I spoil it, I'm ruining it for you guys, so I'm not going to tell you. When it finds out why, this is a humongous battle with his dad. Omni-Man's argument is basically that humanity is pointless, and in the next 500 years, humans now will cease to exist. Mark opposes this, and his dad treats him to some extremely violent counters just to make his point. But then in the final act, no one asks what'll happen in the next 500 years, and Mark responds with this. With him. Watch that scene twice, guys. And it always makes my heart skip a beat. The acting there was incredible, once again, thanks to the brilliant J.K. Simmons and, of course, Stephen Yeun. This is what happens when you have brilliant writers. You get brilliant moments. Thank you, Amazon Prime Video. Anyway, that's the plot for Invincible, and I did leave a few stuff out, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, final impressions? Well, I really did wish I watched the show sooner. But hey, better late than never, right? The thing I really like about this show is a development of the side characters. A lot of TV shows and movies, they don't really develop the side characters as much. They're more sort of just left out. But Invincible sure as hell doesn't do that. In Robot, who's a robot. He's running the team, though he's actually controlled by a guy named Rudolph Connors, who is severely deformed. And he uses DNA from a guy named Rex Splode, who's from the team, to duplicate him, to make a replica of him, so he can duplicate his deformed mind into him. Yeah. Or Cecil, who, like, started as a man. Oh, my bad. Let's get the part. So he can help Monster Girl, a woman who gets younger every time she transforms. Or there's also Cecil, who started as a man who does anything to complete his mission, but turned out to be a decent, caring man. And then there's Atomy. We figure out maybe she doesn't want to be a superhero. I mean, she's still gonna help out time and time again, don't worry, but she's just gonna help the world in, like, you know, other ways. The cast here is also rock solid. We got Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Mark Hamill, and Sandra Oh. On an unrelated note, I love how you can instantly tell J.K. Simmons' voice is in here. Like, when I first heard Omni-Man speak, like, that's J.K. Simmons. That's gotta be him, right? Yeah. And, like, despite, like, the grim and gory scenes of this show, it does still do with, like, relatable issues for, like, teenagers, like, growing up and maturity. And I really did appreciate that. Gave the story some levity. And also the animation style was, like, very beautifully colored. The tall skyscrapers and character design are all great feats. Couple this with some great acting and then voila, it's spectacular. Don't waste your time, guys. Invincible is really good. I suggest you go and watch it. Anyway, I'm Michelle Block, and that's a wrap.